The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey, straight up, just go out to LA. The new anthem, California Love Part 2. To live and die in LA, West Side, West Side, West Side. To live and die in LA, where everybody try to fatten their pocket. So many hustle for the cash, so it's hard to knock it. Everybody got their own thing, currency chasing. Worldwide through the hard times, worrying faces. Shed tears as we bury brothers close to heart.
Well, hello. God bless your community family and welcome to Gang Talk. It's always a surprise when my face comes up on that screen because we started in radio when it was no faces, just talk, and it went out in the airwaves, never to be seen again. But because we are now been blessed to be with Morris Media, we're not only podcasting where you can see us and our guests, we're also online, and we podcast live on social media from Morris Media Studios through Facebook, Gang Talk Nation, and YouTube as well. So it's been a major blessing to this work, this very specific hour, this very specific talk. So we want to welcome you once again to Gang Talk Radio, and thank you for tuning in. And if you care about this subject, tell friends and families because it's ours to fix. It's our nightmare to wake up from, and we can't do it without the support and concern for ourselves, from ourselves. So God bless you once again, and welcome to Gang Talk. And tonight, it's no exception. We always try to bring the best voices that we have access here, and tonight is no exception. So I'm going to allow our special guest tonight to introduce himself and tell you a little bit about his background, what he's comfortable in sharing, and how he got here. So, welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you. First, let me give honor to God as head of my life, and I want to say thank you too as well, because whether you realize it or not, you are Maya Angelou in the hood. And we say thank you, for what you do, for the work that you do, that you've been continue to do. So thank you. How y'all doing, America? My name is James Farmer. They call me Rock. I'm the peacemaker. And what I do is unique. I think it's unique because God chose certain people to do certain things, and he chose me to do what I do. So there's no script for it. There's no writing for it. It's just got to be in your heart, and, you got to be real about it.
That's right. Well, I want to thank you for that, James, because I want to ask you a question. You knew Vicky.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because I'm going to ask you, about 20 years ago, no less than that long ago, before there was a ceasefire and Vicky was doing her thing for mothers and families, there was a vigil she had out in Compton, small gathering, and I believe it was like by a playground or a field, football field or something like that, but we were in the driveway kind of parking area. I believe you came and prayed for us that night. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. I believe it was Track Newport.
Thank you.
I believe it was Track Newport.
And you were one of the very few
spiritually
motivated.
Remember, I think it was Track Newport.
Yeah. She wants you to speak in the mic so folks can hear you. Yeah, that's very important that people be able to hear you. And see, because I knew there was something I remembered about you, James, but we lost touch, in the work, moving around the city from Compton to San Pedro, 10 Freeway to Inglewood. We've been all over the places. And I just remembered because it was such a small gathering, and it was mostly women. And you were the man that showed up with the spirit to come and pray for us. I never forgot that about you, James. Because in those years, we didn't have a whole lot of men paying attention to the heartbreak. Yeah.
Man, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
y'all see, I'm speechless, and that's rare because I always got something to say.
Yeah.
I was raised by a single mother, so I understand the struggle that the woman go through, and I respect the struggle.
Yeah.
I don't knock the father that wasn't there, but I do knock the father that's there that's not doing nothing. So
Well, to be fair to our fathers, they've always struggled trying to have a place in the family, because welfare officially kicked you out of the home. Really, it kicked you out of the home. So, how is a black man supposed to come up under that segregation, jobless? Now, because I'm jobless out of segregation, I can't take care of my family. The government comes in and says, well, we'll take care of them as long as you get out. You see, so for me, our men have always struggled to try to act like a head of a household. And I'm just going to be fair about that, see, because I feel blessed that I had a dad in my life, but he was part of the builders, motivated to show the world black man can. You give us access and opportunity and watch us improve everything you've got. You see, and so he lived that life, and he wasn't the easy dad. Don't get me wrong. He didn't believe in sparing the rod. Okay, and he struggled in the workplace being disrespected as the black man in a way that they could call him out of his name, or everything from spear chucker to porch monkey. So he brought that anger home with him and used it to teach us what to expect. So that's the only difference. But I want it very clear that he struggled to be the dad in the home. He struggled to be a black man, educated and respected. You see, so it ain't never been easy for you, for none of our men, never, ever, ever. And you've always had a target on you in this country, James. Our men have always had a target on them. You see, and so it's those experiences that raised me from the lynchings, from the disrespect, from the police shootings, from the chokeholds that caused the 65 and the riots in this very city. It's always been a struggle. So I'm just going to give it that place because your biggest supporter has been us. The women that love you, that see how hard it is for you, that have your children, whether you're going to stay with us or not. And yeah, we're angry about a lot of stuff, but how we ever going to fix anything that's broken without you? So I asked you here tonight because you posted that. I'm going to let you tell the scenario about what that post was and why I contacted you.
Wow, you hit me with a lot.
Hey, James, come on. We'll tell that story because that's really what brought you here. Had me call you.
Well, I'm going to step on some toes because that's what I do.
Do it.
They say I'll step on some toes, but
just don't drop any
me.
names.
You don't get mad at me, get mad at God.
Yeah.
Because I'm only doing what the Lord asked me to do. I'm trying to be obedient to his word.
Yeah.
I'm a work in progress. Yeah. It's probably some people looking and listening and saying, oh, he didn't see that. But, only perfect person I knew was Jesus.
Thank you.
So
and he was tested.
Man, and I'm tested. I'm tested every day. The devil stay busy.
Yeah.
It was a test. It was about almost a week ago, probably a little longer. I was on the east side because I'm from the east side of Los Angeles, the low bottoms. I was on the east side. I was working, but I was in a community doing some community work, and I was on a Zoom call. So in the process of the Zoom call, I noticed a little youngster come walk up, talking to a few of the dudes that was out there by where I was at. But I'm still talking, but I'm noticing. And during the process of the talking, I see a gun come out, brandished from this little youngster, little kid. It can't be older than my son, my youngest son. And I'm looking, but I'm on my call because I'm trying to finish up. And by the time I finish up the call and I go over there And I see the dude he was talking to. I said, man, that little youngster looked real familiar, man. Who was that? And he said, man, that was Whoop Whoop Whoop's son. And I went and jumped in my truck and went straight to the house, to where I knew where the mama lived. You know, it was just the Holy Spirit, because it didn't sit right with me.
Right.
And I tell people all the time, I'm not your kids' friends. I'm the parents' friends. If I see your child doing something out of pocket, out of line, I'm going to say something. Yeah. Now, it's up to you to explain to your kids when they're getting hollered, oh, Rock is snitching, Rock is that. It's up to you to explain it, because I'm not your kid's friend. Let's get that straight. Because if you see mine out of pocket, I expect you to say something. If you don't call me your friend.
Yeah.
So
see, because let me say this. You may have saved that child's life. Okay?
Yeah.
Just go and keep on with the story.
So I go to the house where I know the mother stay, knock on the door. She come to the door, and she's shocked when she sees me. Hey, Rock, how you doing? I say, where your son at? She like, he upstairs. What's up? I say, call him. Mm-hmm. She want to know what's up. Don't worry, just call him. So she call him. Woo, 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 your uncle want you. And he like, huh? Your uncle want you. Yeah. So when he come to the top of the stairs and he look down, and his eyes get big as dollars.
Yes.
Because he see the guy that was just around the corner where he was at.
Yes.
So when he come down, I start talking to him. I say, man, you just had a gun around the corner, man. You was talking about you getting into it with some guys, man. How old are you, man? 15 years old. Oh, I ain't got no gun. So he start lying, telling he ain't got the gun. I'm telling the mom, no, let me talk to him. Don't start hollering. Let me deal with him.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to him. I said, look, youngster, once you pull that trigger, you can't go back. Ain't no going back. So we talking. He steady saying he ain't got the gun. And I'm telling him, look, man, you throw your life away, man. You know, we talking. So I talked to him. He said he threw it away. He hid it. It wasn't in his mama's house. And I ain't finna get into a confrontation with him because he know I came and I seen him. Mm-hmm. So I think I left. About 40 minutes later, the mom called my number, called my phone. Can you please come get it? He gave it to me. You got through to him.
Yes.
You know.
Thank God
so
you did.
I went back over there to retrieve the gun. And this is where it get interested at, America. Pay attention. She handed me the gun, and the gun is not even real.
Right.
The gun got the orange thing on the tip jammed all the way in there, broke. It got a clip like a real gun, got a spring this long, and it took me a hammer to break it up and destroy it.
Yeah.
But the moral of the story is, if the police would have seen this young black 15-year-old boy and shot him,
like they did to Mir Rice,
we would have been protesting, first of all,
Yes.
that he didn't have a gun.
Yes.
That would have been the first thing we would have been out there arguing. He ain't had no gun. They planted that. But see, I seen it, and I did something about it. And I'm not here for pats on the back or for bragging. Nah, I'm just saying for the people that's listening, because I'm finna get emotional because it's serious.
Well, see, because look, James, it's so serious that you have taken this on as your personal service to God to try to save some lives. And I don't want you to minimize the fact that God placed you right there at that moment, and you may have saved his life. See, because he had the toy. Did he really recognize or grasp the concept that the people that he was confronting could have been armed too? Did that ever cross his little young juvenile mind? You see, and this is why it's so important that you and I talk about this, because 17-year-olds have been dying this year. And 15-year-olds, because I asked you if you knew this rapper Paul broke or something. I found his pictures on Facebook, and I really thought I had made a collage, but I didn't, because he's a young rapper that was murdered in a home invasion kind of thing out here in L.A. He was killed by a 15-year-old. And that 15-year-old bragged about it. That's how they was able to catch him. He wanted to shoot that rapper. And when I went to look at the rapper, see who he was, what kind of things he posted, you know, he wasn't, well, yeah, he was flossing his bling and stuff and holding stacks of money and stuff. And it's like, is that what motivates our 15-year-olds to get a gun and go kill you? You see, I'm trying to find out what. See, when you was coming up, the scenario was different. Now we have these young kids, like this one you just spoke to, that have a different idea of what they're doing. And did he give you a sense of what he was trying to accomplish?
Well, I touched every scenario that you touched on. If the guy you looking for, you would have ran into him and he had a real gun. Yeah. You know, I also said you got your little cousin with you walking down the street with him. You got him thinking you got a real gun. Somebody come, it's fake. Y'all get shot.
Yeah.
Then the police roll up. Your mom, and she standing there listening. I'll say, she going to be out there arguing. You don't have a gun. Mm-hmm. Then I'm going to have to come stand on the side of her, whisper in her ear. They're not lying. I just seen him the other day.
I seen him
and I didn't do nothing about it. You know, so like I say, our main thing is I'm going to step on these toes right now. These older cats out here that's out here promoting this nonsense. You know, they come out here and they try to tell somebody else's child what they should do. Go do this, go claim the hood, go put in some work, and go do that. But then they go home and tell their own kids to don't gangbang.
Right.
You know, so it's got to start at the top, and a lot of people's going to get mad, but it's got to start at the top because I'm guilty if I don't do nothing to this youngster, if I don't intervene.
You're guilty if you send these kids out here to go put in work.
Yeah,
See, that's
too.
what you're not doing.
But it's a two-part guiltiness in this whole conversation because I said he was talking to another dude.
Right.
So after I had that conversation, I went back and pulled the dude to the side. You're a grown man.
Yeah.
That's a child.
Yes.
You got a son.
Yes.
I'm not scolding you, but I'm letting you know where you went wrong. See, and we can't be afraid to tell our so-called peers when they wrong neither.
Right.
And he understood it when I explained it to him like that.
That's good.
You know?
That's good.
I said, you told him don't have a gun and fight and do this, put it down, but you condoning the other stuff. You know, so you contaminating him.
Yeah.
And you can't contaminate our kids and expect them to succeed if we contaminate them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, because the lifestyle, it's the lifestyle that they're upholding. There's some glorified misrepresentation.
It's only glorified till they get caught.
Well, but see, the point is, it's glorified that they want to participate in it, risking getting caught. They're not worried about getting caught when they're glorifying it. It's that mind that wants to glorify this madness that it's okay to kill a man that looks like you. That's the bottom message that they're missing in all of this. You want to carry a gun at 15? Why? What are you protecting yourself from? Are you protecting yourself or are you the threat? You see, these are all the things we have to ask our teenagers now. Are you the problem? You see, because his mom had no clue, bless her heart. I know she's in the struggle trying to do the best she can, whatever she has to work with, because that's all we ever get.
Yeah.
You know, do the best you can. Okay? And 90% of the mothers that I know that I've stood with did the best they could, and the streets still stole their children.
Yeah, because the streets got more to offer.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people don't understand that saying. What do you mean they got more to offer?
Yeah.
The mom is going to work all day. So the homies is out there, ice cream truck coming, buying everybody ice cream, everybody cheeseburgers, and just splurging tennis shoes, and, you know.
They ain't doing that on my block. Nobody offered me a cheeseburger.
Exactly. So the streets got more to offer.
Well,
you know?
Here again, a 15-year-old by nature is supposed to be broke. He don't have any money except the allowance he's lucky to get if he ain't out mowing lawns or collecting bottles and taking them to the recycle.
Listen up, grandson. You almost 15.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be broke. They don't have a real job. They don't have a real paycheck. See, so the hunger is natural. And I'm sorry to go back, but I was relating this story to one of my own children that we had a foster child, 17, and she'd been in foster care since she was 12. But it was during the time when adults was trolling the high schools for youngsters. Okay, I was going to say something derogatory, silly hungry youngsters. That's the nicest way I can say it. When they were getting them to go to the bank and cash these stolen checks, she got caught up in that. It's like, yeah, I go to that bank at 10 a.m. with my girlfriend, and she can go in there and cash that check, and then we can live fat. Now, these are high school kids in the bank at 10 a.m. in your head rag, looking like you can cash a $3,500 government check. Really? And not knowing that the adults picked you out because you're a juvenile, because you are naive, because you are starved for money. You easy picking. Easy picking. At prom time, you want that prom dress, you want your hair done, you want your nails and the shoes. You see, so they wooed these girls. Sure enough, they go in the dang Bank of America, which my foster girl sits out in the parking lot. She's a lookout. The little youngster goes in there with her head rag, and they catch on to her right away. So they just smooth talking her at the window while they call the police. My little foster girl sitting out in the parking lot, well, what's taking her so long? So sure enough, she goes in the bank just in time for the police to pick them both up. So I get the call about her from downtown. Do you want to come get her, or do you want us to lock her up? See, so I had to go get her, and you know what hurt me? She was a product of the magnet program.
Okay.
Have the natural genius to be a genius, but she wants to be smart and slick, and do things the way that she wants. I've never been able to make that balance, you see, because she was a product of foster care. Truth is, her mother didn't want her back from 12 years old. So this child has been bounced around. But the logic that caught her, how many years was she going to give up of her life for that $3,500 that she was going to have to split with her girlfriend and the adults? It worked out to about $1.25 a day. So you're going to throw away 5 years of your youth for $1.25 a day.
And they don't think about it like that till they got time to sit down and break it down.
When they have an adult tell them in ways that it makes sense, like you talked to this 15-year-old. I don't think until you reached him, James, and you had to chase him down, that he understood that he put his life at risk at that moment.
I told him, I said, if you're going through anything, man, call me, man. Don't think you can't talk to nobody.
Yeah.
Because like I say, for me not to do nothing, I'm guilty.
Yeah.
If I don't do nothing and I see it. And a lot of people be quick to say, man, don't talk to them youngsters. They not going to listen. How you know if you don't try?
Thank you. It's our responsibility. They're our children.
Yeah, and it's partially my problem, my fault that they out here like this, because I was part of the cancer, this gang violence, that sparked up, that we was a part of. I was part of that cancer. So, I got to do something to try to heal it, to put a Band-Aid on it. And I tell people all the time, man, I just want this world to be better than it was when I was here.
Yeah.
Everything ain't gonna change, can't change everything, can't help everybody.
Right.
But they say the good man always finish last for a reason, because every time he helps somebody up, he give them a push in front of him.
Well, the truth is we need to lift each other up. Our whole nation, the black nation, see, because I posted that Chicago seems to have a hate on for holidays because, they like to go war.
During the holiday,
Well, it's sorry to say it this way. Those were good numbers for a Chicago holiday. Really, even the old posts, because they've been up in the 200s and stuff like that over Memorial Day and stuff like that. So I've been following Chicago from a distance for a few years, and they've had horrific numbers, and even that one, from a history of 73 shootings with 12 fatalities. This past July, it was 80 shootings with 14 fatalities. Just on the 4th of July. Just that one day. See, and I'm asking generically, in the bigger picture, what do our men expect to get out of this? Do they want to kill all of us, all of you? I mean, what's the goal? What's the victory? That's the question I ask. What's the victory here?
Well, that question been asked for years, and there's no victory. It's no winner.
Yeah.
It's no winner. It's just when somebody is an adult enough to say, you know what, I quit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it don't make you less than a man because you want to live.
Yeah.
You know, just like I got a program now, I'm getting off track, but I'm staying on track for the youth, 16 to 24-year-olds, I believe it is. It's a youth program that's giving them job opportunities, giving them certifications, OSHA certification, hazmat, carpentry skills, and everything. And it's open up to the public and in certain requirements, you know, foster care, involvement with the justice system, you know, which is everything in our community. You know, we actually do got some council members that actually writing stuff in for our community, but our community won't take advantage of it.
Well, I think, I think we have been burned for so long that we've lost our not only expectation, but that there's something available. We've lost our faith that there is an option on the other side of this. You see, and we have to promote you and what you're making available. That's what we're not doing.
Yeah, I believe we have been burned for so long, but I also believe it's time for some of us to slide up out the way so the next generation can either have the opportunity to get burnt.
Yeah.
You still got some of these old heads in the way, sucking up all the fire. So the youngsters can't even get warm. You know?
That's when the OGs need to get together, get in that circle, and straighten that out.
Yeah, move
See,
out the
because,
way.
look, as much as the mothers have been crying all the years and stuff, we haven't been able to change anything the way the men have. See, it's because the men have come into the reality, I have thrown my life away for what? Trying to kill another man that looks like me for what? What did we get out of this? You see? And those are...
I'm going to go even deeper than that.
Go ahead.
What are we getting out of here? I have killed my nephew's father, my cousin's uncle, because it all comes back to the world so small, almost half of these killings, some kind of way, people know each other.
Well, you know what? And drugs were the biggest killer.
Yeah.
The biggest killer in our nation, though, has been the drugs that have poisoned us and destroyed our families and destroyed our homes and sent our men to the cemetery and prisons.
I like to hear what America think about this topic.
Oh, I only care about what Black America thinks about. See, because that other segment, they have determined
Well, they
that
probably
you're
not
the
listening.
threat.
The other segment probably not listening.
They've already decided you're the threat. So they sit Karen on you and Susan and Betty and call the police and try
Becky,
to get
huh?
you killed, Becky. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You see, so they have placed that target on you.
Well, I keep
There's a
target.
whole...
That's why I wear this shirt, the Peacemaker.
Well, see, but you know what I'm saying, James. There's a whole industry that profits from everything that we're doing wrong to ourselves. Yeah. I mean, they're sending their kids to college and paying house notes and new cars. And where you going? To the chain gang.
I still say one of the quietest, probably billionaires in the world is probably whoever owned the yellow caution tape.
You could say that too, and the the music producers that use our music to make big profits for themselves, while we use that music to destroy our culture and our spirit. You see, this has been a spiritual war, another different kind of attack, but still an attack on you. You've been a target for this country since you came off the boat. Really. They couldn't lynch you away. They couldn't burn our houses enough. They couldn't burn enough crosses to get rid of you. In the civil rights, they put you on the chain gang before there was a civil rights struggle. And then after the civil rights struggle, they gave you a deadly drug so you could kill yourself and kill your people. And they gave you the guns to do that too. See, and we, like my friend Jason said, We were tricked. Jason admits that he was tricked. He was tricked about the money. We got addicted to drugs and the money. And it turned a lot of young people out because it was the money. It's the money. I got so much money now. We had a generation of kids that wouldn't even talk to us about work. Their whole thing is, why would I go get $8 an hour when I can make $1,000 a day standing on this corner slinging this poison? Slinging this poison, you see. So we have to step back and look at the bigger picture and accept that they have given you a new image.
And we got to educate on what the new picture look like as well too, because now they on cough syrup
Yeah.
and everything else, you know.
Well, the whole country's drug addicted. It ain't just us anymore. That drug jumped the fence, and they always had meth for the other side. So, this country has never been a shortage of drugs, really. They got oxycodone when
it's
you...
built on drugs, huh?
Thank you. Oxycodone for when you think you're too good to hit a crack pipe. Really?
So you go to Oxy, huh?
Yeah, you get the Oxy.
Well, this the Keep It Real radio show, Gang Talk Radio.
Well, see, because we standing on blood. We standing on the blood of our children.
They say powder, pills, syrup, everything, huh?
Thank you. See, they don't even sell some cough syrups anymore in the store. You can't get it.
I didn't like it as a kid.
Well,
Put me to sleep, and I was trying to stay up.
but the joke, the sad joke in it is a drug that's turned into a way to abuse it. You see, we're so busy trying to escape whatever this reality is we're unhappy living in, they'll drink the cough syrup.
I like how you put that. A medicine that turned into a drug.
Yeah. Yeah. Kids are searching. Remember the parties at the other side they used to have, and they go raid the parents' medicine cabinet and get that big old party bowl and dump all the meds in there, and everybody reach in and grab a spoonful. Find everybody passed out on the floor the next day. That used to be a fad thing about 10 years ago, at the same time when heroin was running all around Simi Valley. And nobody was talking about the overdoses that were happening to young other kids because it was Simi Valley. It was like, no, that's South LA stuff. No, we didn't have heroin down here. We had crack. You had the heroin, and you kept it a secret, and you let your child OD. Okay? See, so we know what we're looking at. We've had to face it because we've had to bury our children. Too many of them. And we certainly are equipped and prepared to handle somebody else's drug crisis because we know how to get them through it. We know how to help them understand the crisis. You know what I mean, James? That's your experience that makes you qualified to educate this new generation. That's a natural thing that others try to act like they know and they really don't know, and the kids really can't stand the fake. They can't stand somebody's BSing them. It's like, oh, that's why that young man listened to you. Yeah. That's why they're gonna listen to you, because they know you're for real.
The guy he was talking to at first.
Oh man, see, the guy at first should have caught on, young homie. You're stepping in the wrong direction. See, and that's really what's gonna fix it. That elder homie that missed that chance, with you caught him and planted that seed in his mind, so the next time that comes up or next time he sees you, now you become that team working to help our babies get a better understanding than to run up on somebody with a toy gun at 15.
Man, and it looked so real. You see it on my post. I had to take a hammer to bend that gun up and break it up, and it hurted me when I went home later that day, because I know from doing all these visuals how easily that could have went, and if I'd have been sitting at home and my TV would have came on breaking news and I didn't say nothing, it's like, and people don't understand that. It's no big me's or small you. It's when you hold yourself accountable for something and you know that somebody is holding you accountable, and it's only one person that can hold me accountable, God.
Yeah.
You know, so I felt that was what I was supposed to do. I didn't do it for, I do it because it was the thing to do, and I'll do it again.
Because
it's no
that's
script,
who you are now, James. That's who you are now. You are a saver of life, not a taker. You have changed your spirit to come back and really understand that we have lost something. We have lost something. And how do we get that back? Can we get it back? Can we love each other enough that we not fill up the cemetery?
And it go back to what you said too. We are losing because if he'd have pulled that trigger or got killed, that generation is gone.
Yeah. Yes.
His family name stopped right there at 15 because they ain't got no kids. No, and then the family that he would have killed or they killed him, his families after families. And as I look at him, I mean, just a little kid, man.
A little kid. He's 15. His brain's not even
formed yet. This is a little kid that had to, just, if he had this much, and, could have, really threw his whole life away. Just one more push. Or 1 second, he comes a second earlier before I get there.
Yeah, yeah. God set that up.
And I tell people all the time, don't never say why when God put you somewhere. You're there for a reason.
Yeah.
Don't try to explain it, because when you can explain it, it's not God.
No.
And I can't explain. Like I said, I was on a Zoom call and I was looking, and I was, and it was meant to go, to see him and the other guy interaction. And I tell people in my prayers all the time, all the old cats, don't be out here telling somebody else's child something, then going home and do yours something else. And it came right to me. Mm-hmm. And it was a scripture that a pastor told me a long time ago about the heaven and hell parties. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people didn't understand heaven and hell parties. And pastors say, when a pastor come over your house, you want to keep the pastor in the front yard where they playing bid whiz at. Well, when pastor go to the bathroom, he peek out the back door. They playing dominoes, smoking cigarettes, and doing everything.
Drinking, doing all kinds of stuff.
About a month ago, I pulled up to a heaven and hell party.
Uh-oh.
And the scripture came to me as soon as I pulled up to the park. And it was literally in the park. They was having church on this side of the park, and they was having a motorcycle function. And I went straight to my phone. I said, America, I just pulled up where pastor preached over 20 years ago, and a lot of people didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not talking about nobody. It's a message right here.
Yeah.
Look, they're over here praising God in a park. Then when I turn the camera, they're over here electric sliding.
Yeah.
And that was the message he preached over 20 years ago, came back to me about a month ago.
Yeah.
It's
amazing.
It is.
You know what? I have living. It has just taken me a long time to just accept. You don't have to die to go to hell. You can come out on some of these corners in our neighborhood and be standing right there looking at people living it every day. Every day. You see, so you ain't got to leave the earth to do bad. You can do bad right here where you are right now.
And it's another thing I say all the time. Stop sending people to hell. People don't need no help going to hell.
They don't.
Stop hollering and go to hell. Tell a person for once, go to heaven.
Go to heaven.
They don't need no help. Pastor told me that a long time ago. People don't need no help going to hell. Why y'all was hollering go to hell? They don't need no help.
Yeah, that's such a good point. That's an excellent point. Yeah, go to heaven.
Yeah.
Well, we look. I stay focused because this is a whole lot of stuff involved in here. Recovery, all of that, drug addiction, abuse, and recovery from that, recovering from prison time, all of that. My focus is murder. Pure and simple. Let's just cut everything else out and get right to the shedding of the blood. That's what we, as a people, have to come to terms with. We're either going to denounce that, or we're going to just be quiet like we have been and let it continue. And the reason I'm here with you tonight is because of that 15-year-old that's confused about his own purpose. He ain't even old enough to spell purpose, but he's old enough to carry a fake gun and treat it like it makes him something special. You see, it's that psychological imagery that we're not attacking.
He can go get a gum instead of a book.
Yeah, yeah, or a computer. Really. See, because the future is in the technology, and I'd rather see him in robotics than carrying a toy gun. I mean, learn to do something with your mind other than cut your life short. See, that's the box they got our youngsters in. They don't value their lives enough that you think it's okay to kill a 17-year-old? You think it's okay to kill a 16-year-old? He don't even get to see his 21st birthday? And you came up in the time when you wasn't expect to see your 25th.
I came up in a time when my 5th grade elementary teacher, and I love him to death for what he did. We was going on summer break. He had a little stack of YMCA cards that he was giving out to all the good students. Mm-hmm. I wasn't a good student. I'm going to be the first one to tell y'all I wasn't a good student. For all y'all that went to Wadsworth with me, I apologize for if I took your candy or whatever I did. I apologize. And the teacher, I just knew I wasn't getting one because I wasn't good. And he called me up. He said, come here, man. He said, I'm going to give you one because some telling me you're going to either end up in jail or dead over the summer. I was in the 5th grade, and that stuck with me.
Yeah.
You know?
You could see something in your spirit.
2 things that man did to me stuck with me.
Yeah.
That man taught me how to read instructions. And he told me about how you judge a person, what you see in a person. And he judged me going to jail, and I think he might have, jinxed me or cursed me, whatever y'all want to say, but I'm breaking the cycle. My son going to college and went to college and all that. So then other thing, he taught me about reading instructions because we used to always get our work and just start doing it. Mm-hmm. And he gave us a paper one day, and all my 5th class elementary, y'all know this is a true story, and we just started working. Nobody read the directions. Uh-huh. And halfway through, he said, all right, y'all finished? Who all read? Everybody read the directions? Yeah. He had somebody stand up and read the directions. Directions say, go to the back and get the $5 off the table. $5 still sitting back there. That's the 2 things my 5th grade teacher stuck with me.
That's pretty
Reading
good.
directions, and he told me something. He just seen something. Mm-hmm. He pulled it and said, man, something telling me something about you. And the same way with these youngsters. Yeah. So when I see something, I got to, try to pull it. It ain't trying to jinx them or down them.
Look,
it's to try
you've turned into him.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. James, you have turned into him, trying to share that message.
Mr. A, shout out to him.
Yeah.
5th grade teacher, Mr.
But
A.
see, this is what the greatest strength has been in the black man. He took care of us. Yeah. He took care of our village. He took care of our kids. He took care of our women.
And that's
whether
he
had a job or not. Really.
When you said earlier, I'll let you keep going about the man as being, but I say not all men, because there was some strong black men that came through my life. A lot of them rest in peace now, but that touched and molded me. Mm-hmm. That still to this day I think about the teachings that a few of these brothers, that taught me. Yeah. And man, and like I said, all of them. I'm not gonna say all the men growing up, because there was some strong black ones that I took stuff from, and they molded me to become a man. Because I had to learn how to be a man. Yeah. My mother couldn't teach me how to be a man. No. And I'm still learning how to be a man now, because it's 24/7.
Let's not just run past that too fast. See, because a lot of mothers make that mistake. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make him the man I think he ought to be. Mm-hmm. Well, Mom, until you walk in his shoes, you really don't have that clear picture. And if you don't let him find some independence, you're making him a mama's boy tied to your apron strings, okay? And I've had, not a whole lot, thank God, but I have had mothers that raised their sons to be spoiled, pampered pooches, okay? And can't no wife, no woman do nothing with a black man that's a spoiled, pampered pooch. Really, I'm serious. That mom
Y'all
was.
better start calling in.
Hey, look, y'all better start calling in, because sister, we about the truth, and we about the truth on both sides.
A woman came in finally ago. My wife comment.
Hey, look, hey, look, my
Help me,
husband
fellas, call in. Help.
look, my husband was raised by an outstanding single mother. I'm not trying to talk bad about our mothers. They put in the work. They put in the hard work. They're there every day. Okay, every day. And we don't honor them enough. Okay, let me finish that, because we were bad mouthing. Well, where's the man? Why ain't he there? And look, mothers get the blame. Didn't your mama teach you nothing? Didn't she tell you better? Didn't you learn nothing from your mama? See, so mom's gonna get the blame anyway. But what we have to do is still allow space that we need you. We need you.
And
I don't want my sons
you
thinking.
Throw it back to them too now. You know, when they holler, did your mama do this? Then you say, didn't your mama teach you how to use a hammer? Then you like, huh? What do you mean? Oh, say something about the daddy now. You steady holler your mama.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to throw it back.
It's just what it is. Mothers have always gotten the blame, and that's where I was raised. The smart alecky people that thought they was all better and stuff. Didn't your mama teach you better? Didn't your mama teach you anything? Ain't you got no manners? What your mama teach you? It wasn't what your daddy taught you. It's always mom. Mom gets the blame.
Well, I tell America, my mother's the strongest lady that I know. Mm-hmm. That's my first love that I'm still sprung on. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't understand that. Yeah. And
she sounds like a hard-working mother that loved you very much. And see, and the thing that I tell men, okay, you didn't listen to her. You loved her, but you didn't listen to her.
Guilty.
And that's a sickness that took all of you away from us.
Guilty.
All of you. All of you. That's the one thing in common. You loved your mom, but like my kids told me, well, you just don't understand.
And I see it right now, and I say right now, I always say I apologize for all the stuff that I put, because I know me, and I'm not bragging. I know I put my mama through a lot, and I apologize. I know, and that's why I think another reason I work so hard so no other mother out here have to go through what I put my mother through, or even worse, because our jails is full of all the men, and 80% of them are the fathers. Yeah. So it's my job to fill in that gap. To, if I see a youngster doing something, tell them about it. Like I said, I am not your kid's friend. Yeah. If I tell you I send your kids something and you don't handle it, do something according to it, do not be mad at me. Don't be mad at me.
Well, the beauty about that, he needed to hear from you. He wasn't going to listen to his mom.
Yeah.
You see, that's our problem. Y'all don't listen to us. We try to tell you, baby, don't go over there. Don't do that. Stay here with me. And it's like, Mom, look.
And I'm going to defend that because I was once a kid. Stay over here and I see my mama going to work 2 and 3 jobs, and then when she pay rent, ain't no money left.
Ain't nothing left.
So I got to go out and get it. So I understand that mentality.
Yeah.
So now what I'm doing about that mentality, because back then my mentality was going to get it, any means necessary. Now my mentality is, come on, let me take you not to get a job, but a career. Mm-hmm. Let me show you how to become a carpenter, an electrician, a plumber, a laborer. Yeah, an operator engineer.
A skill to take you around the world.
Exactly. So that's the portion I do with that portion of it. Come on, let me show you something, youngster. Yeah. You would thank me in 10 years. Yeah. You would thank me in 10 years.
This is a charge on your generation. Y'all have a mission.
Yeah.
A mission. Yeah. And that's to come back home and fix our village. Really. And I'm going to say this because it was cruel the way they did this. They dropped that drug on your poverty. Okay.
And I'm going to give some shout outs to all the ones that's out here helping fix it. Yeah. Because it's a lot of them out here on the front line. We ain't going to name drop, but they out here. Yeah. And y'all know who y'all is. Yeah. I see them on a regular basis. Yeah. They out here really trying to help. And that's the thing about it, see, not just their community, the whole city. Because, see, I can't be effective just over there on the east side. Yeah. I got to be effective in the whole city.
You got to be able to.
Because there's problems in the whole city. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got to be able to go through the whole city with the
city.
same message.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Because it's the whole, we're all affected by it. I don't want anybody to think I was the only one ducking bullets on my block. Come on. Everybody on my block was ducking bullets.
I tell them all the time.
Okay.
When something happened, do not call me and tell me what so-and-so said. Because I don't know nobody. When somebody come through shooting, I don't know nobody that stand up and just watch to see who doing the shooting.
Yeah.
But after the shooting, they could tell you who the shooter was, what hood it was, and everything. We got to stop that as well, too.
Well,
You
I
know?
turned into a witness. That's really what got me here, because hitting the floor, bullets don't care where they land.
Yeah.
They'll kill you in your house.
Yeah.
And that's where they were coming.
All them
In the
Jackson.
house. Yeah.
Not
and
dropping no names.
shooting for the sake of shooting. And they were trying to shoot the black men on our block because the black men on our block was shooting on their block. That's what was going on.
And neither one of them own the block.
There ain't nobody on nothing but the mom and dads whose house they was living in. You see,
And you so
and
true.
it's been such a dirty trick. See, James, we have to wake up and see that it was a trick
Yeah, they
against
tricked
us.
me.
It was a trick against us as a people. See, after the civil rights struggle, the Black Panthers, y'all pick those guns up. It's like, oh no, give me that gun and take this crack. It happened just that fast. Give me that gun and take this crack. See, because, and I don't want to speak out of turn, I don't like to drop names if I ain't right, and sometimes I ain't right. But one of the major, I won't even call his name, one of the main figures in the creation of the Black Panthers was on the pipe. That's what happened, his participation. They gave him the drugs and just swooped him right on out of the work. You see, so when I say it was the trick, yeah, it was a trick. Give me the gun. Ashley, give me that rifle, take this crack pipe and take this handgun and go kill somebody that looks like you. You see, because they didn't have no trouble giving us handguns. You didn't have no trouble getting the gun.
They had no trouble giving us the dope once they figured out, we'll sell it for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, Snowfall and John Singleton, next to
Expose
Boys in the Hood.
Expose that.
Yeah. It's
Man,
a real story.
Before Snowfall and John Singleton, before that story even hit, the real story, we go on and on and on.
But see, what I'm
the
saying
Whitey's
is that
Enterprise,
he-
the Third World, the
But-
Dimension.
What I'm saying
You
is I'm just giving Singleton the credit for telling the story. See, a lot of people have told the story, but he seems to be the one that was most effective. And Cuba Gooding is John Singleton and Boys in the Hood.
Well, I think he was more effective because he had the name. Because it's
well,
a
not
few,
the name. He was a witness.
Yeah, but I'm
see.
saying, but he had the name to get the story out there, because the story, and there's probably some people that's going to debate this. The story, the names and change could be protected to protect the innocent, but a lot of the story wasn't there, and I'm only speaking for the portion of it that I know coming from the other side of the 110 freeway.
Okay.
You
See,
know.
because my assessment is that he was a witness. He lived in this lifestyle. He told the story of what his experiences were. He was a Cuba Gooding figure. Okay. And he lived to tell the story of his experiences in real terms. Doughboy? We knew Doughboy was going to die. We knew it. You see, it's just things you already knew when you watched that picture. It's like, they roll up, see you in the wrong color, it's your toast. You see, and it was very dangerous, very dangerous. And just the fact that he was able to share that in, somebody want to call in?
No.
Okay, because we're running out of time. They
Well,
only call.
it's always good when you're talking. You didn't call in. Hey, listening, that's a good thing.
Okay, because look, we here to try to set it straight, and you are straight.
They
You
probably
tell
got
it
some
straight.
toenail clippers out because we stepping on toes,
I ain't worried about stepping on nobody's toes. It's like Snoop said, if the shoe fits, you wearing it.
And I feel, and I didn't do it for bragging or nothing to put it out because, just like I say, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
knowing, that you just like you say that, might have saved that child's life.
Yes.
Or somebody else's, or save the police from making a mistake that he couldn't go back from, because it looked like a real gun.
It looked like a.
You
Well,
know?
see, because
And
Tamir
he want to go
Rice.
home to his family, and then we want to be mad at him, because he want to go home to his family, and I cannot be mad at that man.
No. And look, the mothers, they really hate when we talk about just the police. Okay, because the police did not kill their child. Somebody looks like their child killed their child. And Black Lives Matter doesn't pay attention to them. Those murders are not a part of Black Lives Matter.
Because they're not going to get no funding if they address them murders. As long as there's some politics and where they could get some controversy, that's sell. Controversy sell.
Yeah, it does.
You know?
But the point I'm making is that we have a whole segment of our black nation that's just ignored. Because your child wasn't killed by the police, it ain't no big deal. What? Really? Well, your child was killed by a child over there. Well, that's not in my neighborhood. Oh, okay. You see, we're our own worst enemy when it comes to this topic, because half of us are ashamed, as we should be, and they think that their shame, they ought to just avoid it. I'm so ashamed, I don't want to hear about it, I don't want to talk about it. I have people say, aren't you tired of folks that always got negative conversation? Well, murder is about as negative as you can get. And if you're going to keep killing the men of our communities, black women is going to stop having babies. Really, what are we having children for? What are we having sons for? To raise them to die in the gutters of our corners? Really? No mother wants that job. No mother wants to be joined in this club of mothers of murdered kids. They're forced into that. And you think that for men to ignore the harm that 15-year-old was fixing to do to them and let him just walk away and not say a word? Well, you're creating that future. When you let that boy walk away from you with that toy gun, whether you knew it was a toy or not, you said, oh, it's okay, little homie, you go do you. And you said, oh, no, not so fast. I know your mama.
Even I didn't know the mama.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
you did.
Yeah, not on my watch, because just like I say, to me, I'm out here every day promoting peace.
Yeah.
So if I see something, I got to say something, call it snitching, call it whatever, because everybody I see, when something happens, they get in front of the camera and say, if you know anything, can you please say something?
Yeah.
You know? Or when something happen, they be quick to say, F the police, something happened, 911.
Yeah. Yeah.
We straddling the fence.
We are straddling.
We straddling the fence.
Yeah.
I tell them all the time, we straddling the fence, man. Don't be mad at me. I'm not perfect, but I'm a work in progress. I'm trying to be better. Because I know I got somebody looking at me at all time. And a pastor told me a long time ago, sometimes the only Bible a person to read and pick up is the Bible in you. And once I understood that, it made a lot of sense. They won't go to church, won't do nothing, but as soon as you do something, you supposed to be a Christian. So they read the Bible in you quick. That's the only one they'll pick up is the one in you. So you gotta watch them too, So if I'm supposed to be this, but you remember when I was this, so why is you coming at me like this?
Yeah.
They
got us all twisted up, even in our face. Some folks don't even
They
have
came out with
face.
the game for a twister.
Yeah.
They came out with the game. And we go running by thinking it's fun.
Well, you know what, and I don't want this hour to go without saying that I am convinced that we are in a rebuilding phase here, unlike anything I've experienced in the 30-plus years of doing this awful work. I feel a renewing coming right now. And who's leading it? You. Your peers. You want something more. You hate what you lost. You hate what was stolen from you. And you're asking yourself, Lord, is this all there was? And God said, no. You took the detour instead of keeping your eyes on me. You let the world take you away from me. You let the devil have your heart. You gave him your soul. You gave him your blood. You wasn't trying to see me when you was living that darkness, when you was running around the street trying to be the worst terror in the black nation. And Chicago's doing the same thing right now. And they living in darkness, not even realizing the beast got a hold of you and he's making a fool out of you. And you go around tearing up our precious nation. We're a precious people. Precious in the eyes of God. Creative, survival, strong, loving, kind. And it's taken all that from you and turned you into the criminal that the police thinks he can, Philando Castillo, Tamir Rice, Eric Garner, Alton Sterling. That's what law enforcement sees you as.
Well, I want to take just 2 minutes to say, first and foremost, I want to thank you for the work that you've been doing, that you continue to do. I want to thank all the brothers and sisters that came before me, the Vicky Lindsays, you know. We ain't gonna name drop, but the ones that came before me, the Brother Barters, the Khalil Shaws,
Yes.
you know, the Danny Bakewells, you know, go on and on. You know, they came before me, and you know, the ones that's going to come after me. And I just want to make sure that I did this seat right when I came to it, you know, because this is our legacy. This is our history. Yeah. You know, when you retire after this year, who take that seat, they got to take it right, you know, because like I said, I just want to thank all y'all that came before me, you know, and I hope the ones that's looking back, that's saying, okay, I'm proud. You know, the work is still being done. Yeah. This brother is keeping the torch going. Yeah. You know, so I could pass it to somebody because they passing it to me. Yeah. You know?
The truth is we're all in this together.
Exactly.
We are all in this together, and I've never stood by myself ever. And blessed that God started me with the mothers. It's like, oh, my God, the heartbreak, and we're not paying attention to the heartbreak. And these women are burying their babies, and we're not paying attention to that.
And it's so sad they killing girls, too.
Yeah, they're killing girls, too. And babies, we've had our share of babies killed and kids killed. You know, I used to remember all their names, and the coolest one was Jasmine Sanders, a little 8-year-old girl killed in the courtyard of her apartment building, hanging out with the teenagers, hanging out on a Friday night in the cool of the evening, and she gets killed by her 13-year-old cousin.
It's always going to be one that just hit you in the gut, because the one other night on 76 and Western, you know, the daughter's found and mom wrapped up like that and had to untie her.
Yes. Well, that, now, see, that is a murder.
Man.
That's a murder, and it's personal. Okay, what I'm talking about is Kashmir James. Her cousin came to kill an 18-year-old in the courtyard that had harmed his family. Okay,
got his own cousin.
Yeah, and he was escorted by a 14-year-old trying to get payback.
18-year-old let a 14-year-old escort him.
13-year-old had a 14-year-old escort him to go kill the 18-year-old. Right. The bullet ricocheted and killed his 8-year-old cousin. But see, that's the sad scenario in that story. He's 13, trying to get payback on an 18-year-old that did something to his sister.
Now the mamas don't like each other.
Well, Jasmine was still dead, and the neighborhood called her father to tell her who killed her. You see, that's how close it was. But I'm just laying that scenario. The 18-year-old's responsible for Jasmine dead. It's a shame that her 13-year-old cousin, escorted by a 14-year-old, thought he had the right to come bring that gun and shoot the 18-year-old. You see, this is how that baby died. So we're on overtime. Let me give you the last word, James, because I'm so happy you came in and spent this hour with me.
Well, my last word is just going out to everybody that's out there doing the work. If you think you ain't, being effective, man. Keep doing the work. Because when that mom called me and said, you got him, he gave it up, come get this gun, you know, that was the seed, the water, the planting, that was it. So keep doing the work, man, because at the end of the day, you got to answer to one person, and that's God. He gonna ask you, what have you done?
Yeah.
When that youngster had that gun, Rock, you act like you was on a Zoom call. What's up with that? And God gonna talk to you the way he talked to you. I'm paraphrasing right now.
Yeah.
He like, say, man, check this out. I need to holler at you, man.
Yeah.
You remember on Woo 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 when the youngster had the gun? You didn't do nothing. Yeah. So.
And that youngster's going to remember you like you remember that teacher.
Yeah.
That's what you did for him. You gave him a life lesson in that moment that's going to follow him forever. And those moments are precious and few. So as we're closing out this another chapter of Game Talk, we do the for real, even if we tell on you, okay, but we won't tell your name. We'll just tell the story. But there's a reason for it, because we're trying to heal our wounds. We're trying to heal our village. We're trying to stop this harm. And we start trying to get the targets off of the backs of our men. So before I fall out of this chair, I'm going to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for coming, James. I really respect it. I appreciate it. And you keep praying the way you do. You keep praying the way you do, because I know God's listening. I know God's listening. He's just waiting for us. So God bless you, community family. Thank you for listening. And we'll be back. We have a second show this month. So we'll be back and we'll post the date. Thank you. Thank you, Poetess. We love you.
To live in LA, West Side.